Hello everyone, what is your first word? Maybe it was mama or dada, or some other family names, or animal names such as cats or dog, or ta for thank you. In this occasion, I'm Haura Nur Fajriah for the subject Introduction to Psycholinguistics. I will explain about the stage in language acquisition according to Stern 1907. So let's start. The stage in language acquisition. What is language acquisition? Language acquisition is the process where the children learn their native language. It consists of abstracting structural information for the language they heard around them and internalizing it for later use. On the other hand, the process happens when children start learning and developing a language. The next is the stage in language acquisition according to Stern 1907. This research is considered the first absolute classics in a child language as Stern divides the terms between the stage and period. Stern provides a comprehensive statement of their view of the major stage of the language acquisition. Stern varies between the term stage and a period. One is a preliminary stage, and the other is period, divided into 4 parts. First period, second period, third period, and fourth period. But first, what is preliminary stage? The preliminary stage is an intelligible imitation and understanding with the child acquires language and follow that without any background. For the first time, the moment the child utters a sound with full consciousness of its meaning and for communication. Period. The first period. What first period of language acquisition? The first period of language acquisition starts from 0 until 6 months. In this stage, the development includes crying, whimpering, and cooing. The first period ends, and the second period begins with the child's rapid vocabulary development. Vocabulary growth goes through an acceleration stage in the second period. At the same time, another behavior is an interest in learning the names of things by asking for names with a question like that. Therefore, STEM offers a principle to relate this to. The child has realized that everything has a name. However, he does not label this principle, so let's call it principle of the linguistic sign. What is the principle of the linguistic sign? The principle of the linguistic sign is the acquiring process in which a child believes that everything around them has name. It means the principle of the linguistic sign is the realization that can conventionally pair phonetics events with the concepts. The rapid acquisition of vocabulary and desire to name everything result from this principle. It means a link between a concept and a sound pattern. This principle is awakening the distinguishing features. What is the meaning of awakening in Stern terminology? Awakening is a feature of the principle of the linguistic sign. A child's internal abilities can recognize and go beyond previous association between real-world sounds and events. It shows an inner power triggered by the earlier first period experience, presented as the transition stage. Next to the third period. Third period sentence. In the third period, sentence become well-formed in that they contains word for the major grammatical relation like subjects and objects. The acquisition of inflection begins and may last 4 years. The last period is fourth period. Fourth period stage of language acquisition. In the fourth period, children begin to pronounce and articulate words and sentences correctly. It suggests that the children's vocabulary is already quite extensive at this point. The last but not least, there are 4 main stages of typical language acquisition. The first is the bubbling stage. The second is the holoprastic. The third is the two-word stage. And the fourth, the telegraphic stage. What is the bubbling stage? The bubbling stage is a stage in child development and stage in a language acquisition during which an infant appears to be experimenting with uttering articulate sounds, but does not yet produce recognizable words. Or at that age, they usually learn how to produce something, but spontaneously. The second is the holoprastic. The holoprastic stage, also known as the one-word stage. In the stage, most babies produce a few single words and many sounds that will familiar from the bubbling stage. The third is the two-word stage. In this stage, between approximately 18 and 20 months of age, and during which children use 2 words when speaking. The last is the telegraphic stage. In the telegraphic stage, children begin stringing more than 2 words together, perhaps 3 or 4 or 5 at a time. And the last is one-word sentence period. One-word sentence period is when children start to use words with meaning consciously. It's directly expressing their thought using only one word related to their thought. Stern emphasizes the gradualness of the development of the child's productive vocabulary and defines the end of the period by a spurt in vocabulary usage. So that's all my explanation about the stage in the language acquisition according to Stern, 1907. Thank you.